start. It's after 10.
Is it a roll? Okay, well, I was.
How's that for loud? Woohoo! Good morning. Is Darcy here? Do you want to do the welcome or do you want me to? I've got it down that you're our welcome today, but I'm happy to do it.
With the coat?
I got distracted by. Did anybody take the wrong coat home 3 weeks ago? This coat was left in Burton, and someone took a shorter, similar style 3 weeks ago. So look in your closet if you have a coat that doesn't fit you. Bring it back.
And here we go. Good morning. My name's Darcy Anderson, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. Welcome to our service in this beautiful sanctuary. Unitarian Universalism encourages an open-ended search for meaning in life and a commitment to asking our values to shape our actions. We're a pluralistic religion that draws wisdom from many sources. We welcome all people into our beloved community of whatever age, race, class, ethnicity, physical ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or religious background. We welcome especially those worshiping with us for the first time. Guests are welcome to participate in any activities in the community. Welcome team members are wearing green name badges and are ready to answer any questions you may have if you're a visitor or new to the congregation. Pastoral care team members are wearing yellow name badges and are able to talk with you if you have life transitions or in need of assistance. We invite everyone to join us downstairs after service for coffee and snacks so we can get to know each other better. Thank you so much for making the effort and coming today.
Thank you. I'm Lori McCollum. I'm going to give a very quick spotlight, and then we have two others. I just want to remind people that next Sunday is the vegetarian potluck that we do quarterly. You don't have to be a vegetarian to enjoy the food, and if you're so inclined, we'd appreciate everyone to bring a dish to share. The hospitality team will do desserts, but if you could bring an entree, a salad, or a side dish, that would be wonderful. Thank you. You're up.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Gates Thomas. Yes, that's backwards. I am the music director here, but today I'm speaking on behalf of Stewardship. Our annual Canvas period is just around the corner, and to kick things off, we've cooked up a great new, fun, special, music-related fundraiser to take place throughout the month of February. Our worship hymnal, we've got the blue and the gray, teal and the gray, contains nearly 500 songs. Now, of those 500 songs, I am certain that there's got to be at least one that you despise. One member has secretly confessed to hating on 1003. We have a choir member who grouses about any hymn below 100. How about you? Do you ever turn to a certain page in our hymnal and suddenly find that your entire Sunday is ruined and now you have an axe to grind? Well, now you have a chance to do something about it with our first ever hymn block fundraiser. This is your opportunity to squelch one hymn for a full year. You heard that right, folks. You, the congregation, will choose one hymn to be blocked, blacklisted, banned for one full year. Here's how it will work. Polling will take place here, in person, on paper ballots during February coffee hours, and will be divided into 2 rounds. Proxy voting is permitted. You must make all arrangements yourself with someone who will be physically present at coffee hour to cast ballots on your behalf. Round 1 balloting will take place February 4, next week, and February 11. During those 2 coffee hours, you may vote to ban as many different hymns as you like, as many times as you like. Votes will be by hymn number on pre-printed ballots. which can be purchased at the low, low price of $1 per vote. Democracy never came so cheap, friends. And as always, in God we trust, everybody else pays cash. Round 1 results will be announced on February 14. Songs not making it to the final round will be eliminated until next year. Yes? This is just negative. This is all to get out all that negative energy. What? Hang on. I'm getting to that. That's round 2. Round 1 results will be announced on February 14. The winners will advance to round 2, February 18 and 25. And here's where things get interesting. In round 2, we'll have 2 types of ballots: a pile-on, which adds a vote to that song's cumulative total, and a mulligan, which deducts 1 vote from that song's total. So that way, if your favorite song, if Blue Boat Home, somehow makes it to the top 5, you can vote to save that in round 2. Round 2 ballots are $2. Final results will be announced right here on March 3rd, and the winning song will be that with the most black and pile-on votes, less mulligans. The squelch will be the next church year, July 1st through June 30th. If you have any more questions about this, Gail Springer will be at coffee hour today to answer any questions. In the meantime, peruse these hymnals, choose your targets, and remember, throughout February, vote early, vote often, and bring all your cash to church.
All right, I have one quick announcement. Elaine Cressy asked me to announce that today, January 21st, Polyrhythm's Third Sunday Jazz Series presents Carly Bunn Quartet. Please join us. Give a warm welcome back to one of our special workshop proteges, Carly Bunn. The Carly Bunn Quartet features Carly Bunn, of course, on the saxophone, Terry Dunphy on piano, Jack Sundstrom on bass, and Spencer Peterson on drums and cymbal. Bunn is going to be offering a workshop at 3 o'clock, and the musicians will perform in the concert from 5 to 7 here at the Unitarian Universalist Church. Carly is a Chicago-based saxophonist and composer and educator. As a Quad City native with degrees from Northern Illinois and DePaul University, Carly has performed a broad context of music with ensembles. So please come and join us. I do have more information, so you can ask me about the block of hymn, and you can ask me about polyrhythms downstairs. Thank you.
Thank you, Gates. Our opening words today come from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Today, we celebrate the life of Dr. King as well as those other seekers of justice, and we also focus on love and how this concept intersects with justice. Dr. King refused to sever the two. I paraphrase Teresa Smart from her blog entitled The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. on uniting justice and love. She noted that while justice has an angry ring to it, evoking images of judgment and punishment, love is warm and sweet, evoking tenderness, affection, and reconciliation. Dr. King said that a tough mind will lead to true justice only if united to a tender heart. He also described how we are all connected. He wrote from his time in Montgomery, "We must come to see that the end we seek is a society at peace with itself, a society that can live with its conscience." So today, let us learn more about our interconnections and how civil rights leaders in our own community have worked for justice. When you leave today, I hope you can think of some ways that you can work toward justice, both through direct action and through supportive actions with those experiencing injustice.
If you will join me in reciting the chalice lighting. May lighting this chalice today, no matter how difficult it may feel, help us to rekindle compassion and mercy within the deep crevices of our hearts, so that we can once again bring justice and hope to a world struggling to find its humanity, struggling to find its soul.
Now you may rise as you're willing and able for our opening song.
Our opening hymn is number 17, Every Night and Every Morn. I will play the tune once.
And if you would remain standing, we'll take a moment to greet one another. Sorry, I should have gotten one of those to start with. I usually do that too. I might have spent it all last night on wine.
Oh, really?
I didn't get there early enough.
But what it was,
When it ran out.
so every time he came by, I didn't drink it. I just a bit myself. But somebody got my couple, and I just poured it in his plate. And then the ladies that was out there, we was everybody. So I made sure that they had a couple glasses. I kept dumping some in there. What the thing?
That's right. all for a good cause. I got one.
Yeah. Ken, he was at my table, so he got us all drinks. So I just had mine. I just had Pepsi.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Usually in better weather, we have between 50 and 60. But I've noticed in the winter, well, a lot of our people are older and they live here in the south. So we probably lose at least 10 or 15 people who are in Texas or Arkansas or Arizona or Florida.
But we don't have this many out.
And which church?
Tabernacle in Berlin, 15.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of people over there.
I always have to round them up because this could go on forever.
Yeah, he always referred to Michael as a big.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
I know. He never stops talking.
Yeah.
You gotta be ready.
Yeah. And that's what Michael said.
We all just say talk. And everybody's gonna talk.
But he has a good heart.
Hi, if we can have the kids come down, we'll fly through this as quick as possible, and then we can all go back to chatting. Because that's what we like to do. We are social people. We like to sit down. We like to have conversations. We like to see how they're doing. It's perfectly fine. Okay. No, we're good. That is perfectly, all I did was deodorize this morning. I didn't shower, so maybe it's me. And it is okay. So, recently, kids, we've had a lot of days off of school, but there's like one day that we were supposed to have off for certain, not for weather. Do you guys know what day that was supposed to be this week? What? What do you think it was? It was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And guess what? I got in trouble with work because I started working on that day, and they were like, oh, no, this is a holiday. You're not supposed to do that. So that was kind of fun. But I also forgot that it was a holiday, which is very, very bad. I shouldn't have done that. So I made sure to pick a book to read to y'all concerning a little bit about it. And then downstairs, we're going to go down, and I'm definitely going to talk more about it so that I can get it set in my mind more as a permanent fixture. So this book is written by Shane E. Evans. It is called We March, and y'all are way over there. And it says, the morning is quiet, and then the sun rises. And says, we prepare. Sorry. And it says, we prepare to march. We pray for strength. We work together. It says, we come from all over to march. Now, just with this right here, do you kids know where they're going? No? That's fine. Maybe we'll use context clues a little bit later, because as I was flipping through there was more, there are more things. Well, no, it's just the exact same thing. So if you guys don't know it, you guys know where they're going, right? With the big Washington Monument there. Ooh, I gave you a clue. It's a Washington Monument. Washington, D.C., you're right. That's absolutely correct. Next page it says, we follow our leaders. And we walk together. We sing. We are hot and tired, but we are filled with hope. Would you guys have gotten that if you'd seen like the reflection pool and everything? Yeah. Yeah, I know. You're all smart. It's fine. It wasn't until there that I got it too. We learn to lean on each other. As we march to justice. To freedom. And to our dreams. And then we got a little bit of the history stuff here that we're going to go over downstairs. Just because I know you kids love a history lesson, it's going to be fun, okay? I promise. And then we'll do a project. And there, we got all excited for the art project. And then we'll do a project, and then we'll probably have some yummy snacks. So if you kids are ready, we will venture downstairs.
Good morning. I'm Barbara Thompson, a member of the Pastoral Care Ministry team. As we gather today to reflect on what lies in our hearts, in this time of sharing, we take a moment to recognize our personal joys and sorrows and to read from the book of joys and sorrows, those personal life events you have chosen to share with us. We have a couple today from Karen Crouch and Alice Traylor. A joy. Many thanks to all who made the community meal a success. Special thanks to Jan DeGree for her recipe and use of her kitchen. There was plenty for all. And from Mike and Mindy Pace, they're celebrating their 27th wedding anniversary. Did we have anything online today? Thank you. For what has been shared, yes? Oh, thank you for sharing. Yeah. For what has been shared and for what remains in the quiet sanctuary of our hearts, we are grateful. Let us become aware of the energy that brings us together in beloved community as we share a time of silent meditation. May we open our minds and hearts to a place of quiet, to a silent prayer for the healing of pain and the comfort of love. And after our quiet time, you're invited to come up and light a candle.
Our responsive reading today is from the Gray Hymnal number 584, A Network of Mutuality by Martin Luther King, Jr. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. There are some things in our social system to which all of us ought to be maladjusted. Hatred and bitterness can never cure the disease of fear. Only love can do that. We must evolve, for all human conflict is a method which rejects revenge, aggression, and retaliation. The foundation of such a method is love. Before it is too late, we must narrow the gaping chasm between our proclamations of peace and our lowly deeds, which precipitate and perpetuate war. One day, we must come to see that peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. We must pursue peaceful ends through peaceful means. This congregation is supported by the pledges of our members and friends. The offering provides an additional opportunity for expressing your generosity by those attending today's worship. We are sharing the plate offering this month with 50% to the Sanctuary Project. And for those online, I believe there's a link. Please be as generous as you are able. This morning, I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Glenda Guster, who is the outgoing president of PACG. She made sure to remind me she was outgoing. She's also active in the NAACP, and after retiring, she works part-time in the Stepping Stones program in the Davenport schools, I think so she can see her grandchildren more often. And Glenda is going to share a video with us that PACG produced with the help of some other organizations in town, which I think you will find very interesting, about our local civil rights leaders.
Good morning, everyone. Like Lori said, I am the former president of Progressive Action for the Common Good. Now I'm the vice president, which is a very, very good group of people that I work with. This video you're about to see is something that I had in my mind to just do an article. But of course, the way PACG is, they got a committee together and they was like, we should do a video. So we went out and we found somebody to do the video for us. And it was all right. I said, I'm going to check with PBS, WQPT, and see if they would show it. So I checked with Laura Adams. She looked at the video. She said, wow, Glenda, it's great. Need a lot of work. So they went to work on it. Her and her co-workers, they got together, they spent tireless hours putting a little bit more spin on our video. And I'm just going to tell you about the video before we see it. I had two men I talked to that went to Washington, D.C., the march in '63. One was Bill Gluber, white man, Dr. Brockington, a black man. In my mind, I want to see what was the contrast between this man going and this man going. And so you'll see the difference in the video. And then also I knew a lady, she's an attorney here in Davenport. She had dinner with Dr. King when she was in college at Amana Colonies. And so I wanted to interview her, and so we did. And so she told us how she felt. The last two is, one is Pastor Gabriel Barber. He's 96 years old now. He spent years over in Illinois being an activist for his community. So he's in the video. Then lastly, we have a young man. He's 16, Adur Howard, very active in the community. He tells his spin on being a young black man in America. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like I said, Laura Adams, they put a lot of work into this video, and it's great. And my point that I get out of this video is all of you guys, just like me, if we work together, we can change things. That's the only way change is going to get done. I can't do it by myself. Other people can't do it by themselves. It takes everyone to do this. And that's when you see this video, you're going to see on the March of Washington, it wasn't just blacks there. It was white, Hispanics, old people, young people, priests. You know, it took everybody. So I hope you enjoy it. And then I'll be around for a little while if you have questions about it, about the video. But it's something that was dear to my heart. And it was something that I felt like should be an article. But Progressive Action felt like, no, we're going to take this a step farther. And that's what we did. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
In 1963, I was a St. Ambrose student, I think a junior, senior at the time, and Father Marv Mottet and organized a group to go to Washington to march with Martin Luther King on Washington, D.C. on August 28th, 1963. And so five of us from Davenport went. We drove all night, 17 hours out to Washington, D.C., and I remember coming over the sort of end of the D.C. area where the mall is, where they had the big march. And I can vividly, very clearly remember the mall was surrounded by buses, big Greyhound buses. And I always thought it was the purpose of the buses to keep people out, which was what it was, or to keep, bad guys out, or to keep us in, as like jailing us. I wasn't sure what the purpose was. I can remember that very vividly. Martin Luther King led the march, along with Walter Reuther, who was head of the UAW, because again, labor and civil rights and the Democratic Party were all kind of intermeshed together back then. It was an amazing day. I mean, I knew it was a historic day when I was there, and we sang a lot of the old civil rights songs, and Peter, Paul, and Mary, I've Got a Hammer, and all the beautiful civil rights songs. We need to do that more today. And then, of course, Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. And being involved in civil rights is a lifetime commitment, just like being active in government and politics has to be a lifetime. It's not a short period of time. There's always going to be racism or sexism or anti-gay feelings or anti-women feelings. In fact, we created Martin Luther King Center here in Davenport. It's been unheard of 50, 60 years ago, but it's changed. And to see that by your involvement, you do make a difference. You got to be an optimist. You got to keep trying. So I guess it reinforced my beliefs that the system can work if you really work at it. Don't give up on it.
Great opportunity of having dinner with Dr. Martin Luther King when he came to the Amana colonies, and I was a freshman student at Grinnell College, which is just down the road. I was a little intimidated because I was just a freshman and the other 5 students that were there were all upperclassmen, so I didn't know any of them. But I did know this, and that was that the man that was speaking to me was destined for greatness. There was no question in my mind. He was a handsome man. He looked straight at you and he just bore into your soul. There was a fierceness in what he said that hung in the air. It was the personal element, and he made that clear that we're not alone in this world, and everything we do impacts every other person that we encounter. There's hope in the world, and that we have to, in those small ways, contribute to making that dream real, making that hope real.
The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom was one of the most astonishing things that I'd ever been involved in. It taught me a lot of things, showed me a lot of things, and proved a lot of things for me. And 2009, at the first inauguration of President Obama, those 2 events were 2 events that really stood out to me in terms of what I went through and participated in. I guess a third one would be the fact that I was, well, the first in my family to graduate from college, and actually I paid my way through college mainly. To see my mother's face when I got my bachelor's degree from Howard University was another one of the events that really stood out for me. It changed me because I began to see people in a different light. I saw people not in terms of race anymore. I saw people not in terms of a different type of religion anymore. Because, for example, at the March in Washington, when you had 1 million people, I was standing at the tree right in front of the Lincoln Memorial, and I couldn't move because there were people in front of me, behind me, beside me, and I was pressed up against that tree. But it was a glad time, and there was no animosity. Everybody had the same goal. Nobody had any secret or had their own type of agenda. There was only one agenda, and that was the agenda to get freedom and get jobs. Those events and those individuals were all part of what set a tone for me in terms of what was a good tone. I was able to meet and hear Dr. King, hear Malcolm X, talk to and meet with both of them. Marion Barry, who became one of the activists in D.C. at the time, who became the first African-American male to become mayor of Washington, D.C., was one of the activists in the city that I worked with. There was a young man that graduated with me that was at many of the sit-ins and things that we did at the time, and that was Stokely Carmichael. Stokely Carmichael graduated in my class from Howard University at the same time. Why I became activist? Because what I saw, what I heard, what I lived through, experienced, and listened to people who I respect. And all of those things were things that govern how I felt, govern what I did, govern what I continue to do. And I think for someone who wants to be an activist, or someone even who didn't think they were going to be an activist, if you hear something and you see something, don't close your eyes. That's not what you do. And that's how you become an activist. I'm an educator for years. That's my profession, education. And I think it's the best way to get people to understand where we are, where we came from, and where we need to be.
When I look at this, I think of April 1968, when Dr. King was shot, standing on the balcony outside his second floor room at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. During the funeral, they played a tape recording in which Dr. King spoke of how he wanted to be remembered after his death. I'd like somebody to mention that date.
That Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others.
In this painting, when I see it, I think of my brothers, my father, the men in my life that was called boy. They were grown men, working men, religious men. They were not boys, but they were men that was treated like boys. It was founded in '05. It's a couple of founding members like Alta Price, Kathy Bocum, Karen Unsinger. She came on a little bit later. And there's some other people that's passed on that started that group. And that group is a progressive group. And what they do, they talk about progressive issues that affect all of us. And I came onto the group later on in '07, and I learned so much from these people because they was political inclined to what's going on in the community. And so anybody was welcome to join it. And they did have a variety of people from all over and still do. And we may not have the people, a lot of people that's going and standing on that corner with us, but we do have them. They back us up financially, whatever we need. Those people are there. They make very good donations, and we thank our supporters because they believe in what Progressive Action does. And we're not a big organization, but we're a powerful organization, and that's what I love about that group. I love the idea that this place is here on this little corner, that once you really look into it, it's a lot of history that happened for our people right in this area. Punk for Action was something that was started by Karen Unsinger. She's one of the founding members of Progressive Action for the Common Good. And she was so upset and wanted to do something after the George Floyd incident. So she came up with this. She called me and she said, Glenda, what do you think? She said, you know, I'm a white lady. You know, do you think that people would be receptive to this? And she wanted me to help her. And I said, I think it's great, Karen, because I do feel like in order for change to come, it takes all kind of people. If I stand out there by myself, you know what it's going to be? There we go again. But if you see other people, different nationalities, different color, different backgrounds standing out there, it makes more of an impact on our community. So this is how we started doing that. And Hunk for Action, we do it every Saturday morning, rain, sleet, or shine. We're out there now. If it gets too cold, we're not there. If we do 15 minutes, we still are over there on that corner from noon to 12:30. So we get a lot of positive hunks, and then sometimes we get a lot of not so positive. But we know what? We smile, we wave, and we keep on holding our signs up. And now we added holding a flag up because we feel like that flag does not belong to just a certain group of people. That flag belongs to all of us. This is all our country. So now we have our flag, we have our signs, and sometimes Karen's dog is out there. So sometimes when we get there, before we can even get our signs up, people are honking. They know that we're there every Saturday, so it's a positive thing. We feel like that it just keeps people in remembrance of what happened because sometimes we forget. This way we can keep that dialogue going about equal rights, equality for all people, and the other signs we have out there, Hunk for Peace. So you know what, we just enjoy doing it. On our 15th anniversary, we gave like $15,000 out in the community to different nonprofit organizations, and we got a lot of thank yous from different organizations that we gave that to. So I thought that was amazing because most groups say, well, I'm gonna keep my money in our treasury, but we wanted to share our wealth out in our community, and that's what we did. To me, that's letting your voice be heard, and it's through action, because we all talk, but let's put some action behind that. Go to the polls and vote. I hear a lot of people say, oh, what for? My vote don't count. We have seen here recently that people won or lost elections 10 votes. So your vote do count. And as far as I'm concerned, it's too many people die for the right to vote. And I'm just not talking about African Americans. I'm talking about other young people that came down to the South, they lost their life for something they believed in. And this is something that we need to continue. We need to let our children know, our grandchildren, because when you turn 18, register to vote, because you know what? Only change is going to come when you go there and vote.
I believe I'm only as tall as the giants I'm standing on, and I have a great community helping me pave my own path. And I've always been real interested in activism and just pushing us forward as a community, and I think I was just destined to fall in place. I'm a black man in America. Every day I go out, I take the position of a civil rights activist. I'm just fighting for myself. I always find myself hanging around people that know much more than I do, and just learning and asking them questions. When you can be humble enough to see the struggles that the people around you face on a day-to-day basis, it really puts you in a calming position to where how privileged you are to live the life that you live. It takes a village to raise anybody and everybody, and I shouldn't be the only one here at all. There are plenty of young activists and young Malcolms and young Martins placed in the roots of Davenport, Iowa. You'll have a strong community, and that's what I believe in. So I feel like I can call myself somebody that's empathetic, can walk in another man or woman's shoes, can see that your neighborhood is several different neighborhoods in one. Everybody has a story, everybody has a path, and everybody has goals, dreams, and aspirations, and you should honor everybody's.
I was the first one to be in 2-1 as a precinct committeeman. I stayed there for 51 years. All I want you to do is be honest with each other. Treat each other like a man and should be treated. Nothing special, but first be honest. I live because I stand on principle. Always did. Let's not get hung up on texture. What a person look like, your texture. Let's get hung up on and do the things that's right.
I am one of a million. I'm one of a million, not one in a million. I'm one of a million. And I believe there are plenty of others that I can call myself counterparts to and peers. And I feel like together we can genuinely change the world. Those are my brothers, and I feel like them, you can go outside, you can face all different types of racism, classism, injustice, like all of that is still present. So when I look at those as my big brothers, my mentors, some of the people that just came into this room, those are those people, right? If, rest in peace, if Martin Luther King was still alive, that's where he would be right there, taking interviews, and those are the people. So I feel like we should put flowers on people before their tombstones, and I feel like they're still here, we should still cherish them, and they're definitely relevant to this day.
You want to learn what to do to educate your community on progressive issues like voting, civil rights, gender equity, healthcare. Our group is the group to come to. So we need everyone. You know, we need young people, old people, black people, white people, Hispanic, just all kind of people. That's how you make the world go around. You just can't have one group of people. It needs all of us.
Google that title. So if you wanted to watch it again or show it to other people, you can do that. And now we can rise as you're willing and able. And we have the insert for this song in the order of service.
Hush. Hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Sounds like music. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like music. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like music. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do?
You may be seated and we'll extinguish the flame. The prayer of our souls is a petition for persistence, not for the one good deed or a single thought, but deed on deed and thought on thought, until day calling unto day shall make a life worth living.
Our closing words today are from the Affirmation of Hope by Loretta Williams. We, bearer of the dream, affirm that a new vision of hope is emerging. We pledge to work for that community in which justice will be actively present. We affirm that there is struggle yet ahead, yet we know that in the struggle is the hope for the future. We affirm that we are co-creators of the future, not passive pawns. And we stand united in affirmation of our hope and vision of a just and inclusive society. We affirm the unity of all persons. We affirm brotherhood and sisterhood that allows us to touch upon each other's humanity. We affirm a unity that opens our eyes and ears and hearts to see the different but common forms of oppression, suffering, and pain. Yet we are one as we celebrate our hopes for human unity. Within ourselves and within the gathered community, we will discover the strength not to hide in indifference, affirming that hope, publicly expressed, energizes and enables us to move forward. Together we pledge action to transcend barriers, be they racial, political, economic, social, or religious. We pledge to make our tomorrows become our todays. May it be so.